Focus. Focus. There we go. Camera's a bit slow. It's significantly darker than it looks. That's why the camera can't focus. But I'm out walking with the dog. It's well after sunset and it's getting foggy. I've got my light on because I'm on a road here that's paralleling the Batstow River down near towards Batstow. But we're about, I don't know, we're coming back to the parked car, so we're probably about 4 miles in to the journey of about 7 miles in total, there-ish. But very, very still tonight, like not a sound out of any of the animals. Hey pup, dog's got a light on. We can talk about that actually. The best light that I've ever gotten her, and with a bit of epoxy you can actually set it to one position, so when it's on the dog's neck it faces forwards, so it's like a flashlight for her, so she can shine it around like she's doing. Who's there? Absolutely loves it. Willow, over there, over there. So she can shine it around. She loves it, absolutely loves it. It's a rechargeable light, it's a Petzl. So it's really, really good. It was about $34. It's got let me back that up. It's got a 1,200 milliamp battery. It lasts a decent time, so it's not bad. That hasn't been charged up for a couple of weeks now. So admittedly we haven't done really any longer hikes. You know, usually they are an hour to 2 hours. That's what I've been getting to. But for her, it's lasted fairly decently. Charges up quickly. And like I said, we always have it on full power brightness. So that way she can see further with it. And because she's not on leash right now, I can see where she is at all the times. Hey puppy, good girl. But let's talk about Bigfoot. So here we are, foggy, nobody around, absolutely still. You kind of see my breath, still as anything. You can hear a pin drop out in these woods. You can certainly hear me. But so anyway, let's have a quick chat about Bigfoot. Now, I don't care whether you believe or don't believe in Bigfoot. In the South Jersey Pine Barrens here, you know, there's a lot of old, I'm tripping over tree roots, there's a lot of old stories. The Jersey Devil being the primary one, from one of the Leeds family, the 13th child of the Leeds family. In fact, we did a cryptid hike last year, and 4 members of the Leeds family actually came out to the hike, which was kind of cool, and they told their stories, which was really, really neat for the people on the cryptid hike. The cryptid hike was done by Pinelands Adventures, so down here at Atsign Lake in South Jersey, which was really cool for them to do that. But I've got to say, I've walked with her she's 10 years old now, so we've done the last 10 years together in these forests, and we often find ourselves in the middle of nowhere, in the forest by ourselves. And all these people that say, oh, I've hunted all my life, 85 years I've hunted in the Pine Barrens and there's no such thing as Bigfoot. Well, you know, I don't care whether you call yourself a hunter. If you're standing in a deer stand or sitting in a deer stand, you ain't a hunter as far as I'm concerned. You're an ambusher. And you're in one location. Me and the dog here have walked literally hundreds and hundreds of miles over the last years in the middle of the night. And all you folks that say, oh, I've never seen Bigfoot. Well, let me tell you, I never see you on the trails either. Here I am. I've been out on this trail for 2 hours. 2 hours. And I haven't come across one vehicle or one person. So there you go. So me and her are putting the miles in. And we're privy to what we see and feel and hear all the time. Now, in 18 years of doing this, I've only had 3 occurrences of something strange. And I'm not saying I saw Bigfoot, but what I'm saying is what I heard and what I heard from other people makes me question my narrative and my, beliefs on what I think Bigfoot is and is it real. And I'll tell you now, from my experiences, I completely 100% believe Bigfoot is real. But here's the other thing I believe. In South Jersey, I don't believe Bigfoot is ancient like on the West Coast, where the Native American tribes talk about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever they called it. The Lenni Lenape tribe don't mention, I don't think, anything about a Bigfoot type being in the forest, which indicates to me that Bigfoot out here is a fairly new phenomenon. So maybe within the last couple of 100 years, and this Pinelands is the perfect place for them. It's over 500 square miles, 1.1 million acres of preserved forest with massive amounts of species, crops, animals, deer, beaver, bobcat, coyotes, fox. There's a ton of animals out here. There's a lot of food. So for an animal to live, it could easily be supported by the food that's available in the forest. And we've had fairly mild weather too in Jersey over the last few years, which has, I think, helped tremendously the case for perhaps a large creature such as a Bigfoot to exist. I don't believe for 1 minute they're apes, because I think if they were a great ape or Gigantopithecus, we'd have one in a zoo already. These are far more intelligent. So think about it this way. 8 to 9 foot tall human that's hairy, that's as intelligent as we are, with the stealth of a bobcat. I think that you get the impression there. I've only ever seen one bobcat on my journeys, and it was actually crossing the road. So never seen a bobcat on the forests. I'm sure the dog has smelt them, but the reality is never seen one in person, because they are secretive and very stealthy. And I think the same can be said for our big hairy friends that also live in the forest, that, who knows, maybe they're listening to me talking about it right now. So, am I scared? No, not at all. Why would I be scared of a creature that, one, I've never seen? 2, I don't believe for 1 minute, if they've got that intelligence, they would recognise we're a threat to them unless we specifically were threatening or had some sort of threatening behaviour towards them. And I believe, just like the Native American Indians in the on the West Coast in Washington, it's probably more of a benevolent. Did I say that right? Benevolent. More of a benevolent creature that's probably because he's been unadulterated by media and corrupt social avenues, probably far more human in trait than actually we are now, especially if they derive from human and unknown DNA sources, which David Paulides seems to believe, and from what the DNA tests have concluded. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure if I heard 2 big footsteps behind me now, which started kind of running towards me, I'd probably be able to beat the dog out of the woods. But it would have to be something fairly frightening to bother me, to tell you the truth. I grew up in the forest. You know, when I was 5 years old, my dad would take me out poaching, and he'd tell me to stand in the middle of the forest and bring back pheasants and rabbits and stuff in the dark. And my job was to, as a little kid, stop his shot game from being nicked by the foxes. So that's how I grew up. So I'm 100% okay with being in the dark, and I get a lot of peace from being out here in the nocturnal part of the day. It's just sincere and serene and beautiful. And you know, the creatures that come with that fascinate me too, that they've adapted so well to this environment. I just wish, you know, humans' adaptations would have gone that route, and perhaps more so. So the reality is, no. Am I afraid in the forest? No. Am I armed? Yes. I don't carry a gun, but I've got a very large 12-inch Solingen steel blade with me, which was my dad's, and I use that for clearing brush, cutting out a poo hole, as well as I can use it for self-defense. And anything that comes across that or gets lanced on it is going to lose a massive chunk of meat from its body, or their body, or its body, simply because of its weight and sharpness. It's actually it was a hunting knife that came from the Boer War. So it's of a German design, not Dutch. And as I said, I've carried it since my dad passed away, and I broke my cold steel cookery knife. You know, and everybody thinks that was a fake knife. No, it wasn't a fake knife. It came from cold steel in a box. It was all legit. It's just they're not really good choppers because they've got a straight edge on them. The grind is a flat grind, so they don't carry a lot of weight of blade in the middle. It's starting to get foggy down here. Oh, you know, I hate it when she does that. She dazzles you. Willow, you see him? Who's there? Let's stop for a minute. See if we can hear any coyotes. Nothing. Apart from a few planes flying overhead. Nothing at all. Let's put the light on, see if that makes any difference. Oh, there we go. Makes it worse. You can actually see the fog blowing around now. So, yeah, so the reality is, all of those people that never had an experience have probably not been in the right place at the right time to have one. And okay, you hunters out there, you get out into the woods a lot, you go and find a place to hunt, you set your tree stand up. In the old days, you probably put a bait pile out, some of you still may do, I don't know, and you hunt your bait pile. It's not exactly like you've walked 28 miles in the night to come across or witness anything unusual like I usually do. It's starting to get real foggy in here now. Oh, now I've lost my night vision. So the reality is, for me and the dog, you know, I used to work nights from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m, 12-hour shifts all the way down in Millville. So it's an hour drive for me from the Pine Barrens, where I live. So on my days off, I used to keep the same schedule. And that schedule, for me, was, you know, I'd get up at probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon-ish, get something to eat. Then I'd be awake right the way through till, you know, 7 a.m. or so. So in the middle of the night, you know, Willow here got used to me being up, and, you know, her schedule kind of changed with mine, and she would be like, all right, let's go for a walk. So we'd find ourselves walking around the forests, you know, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and it was typically a normal hike for us. So we'd be hiking for a good, you know, between 5 to 10 miles. So and it was my exercise. So, you know, we were hiking probably at least 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5 hours in total, depending on our speed and what road we were on or where we were cutting through. So that was the reality for us. And listen. Hear that? No, not the Jersey Devil. That was more than likely... Oh, hold on. Hear him? That's probably a great blue heron that's flying around that we've disturbed. Not the Jersey Devil. So, yes. So, I think I'm out here now, and all these people say, oh, I've been in the woods all my life, I've never seen anything. Well, I don't see you out on the friggin' road like I am right now, sorry. And like I said, we're 16 minutes into this little video, and I haven't seen, you know, anybody come by me in this section. And we're actually on a main road right now. So all of you folks that say, oh, been in the woods all my life, never seen anything. Yeah, well, you lot in the middle of the woods, 2 o'clock in the morning, walking 20 miles. So there you go. That's my response to you. You might be outdoorsman, but you ain't doing the distance or mileage that me and the dog are doing. And in fact, I can count probably on one hand the amount of people I've bumped into doing this kind of hiking in the middle of the night. Count it on one hand. And I know for a fact there's 3 people I've ever bumped into in the middle of the night hiking. And one of them was completely drunk, and 2 of them were drunk riding a golf cart. And they were doing some really good drugs, I think, too. That's it. But I'm not out here meeting people. I'm going to turn that light off. It's getting really difficult to see now. Meeting people that are quiet. Yeah, let me put my light on white, because we've got a cut through to find. Oh. There we go, here's a cut through. This way, Pip. Good girl. Come on. Yeah, this is the one. Hey, puppy. Good girl. Come on. So, and like I said, I'm waffling. I don't cut these videos. My editing is I upload it. So I may say stupid things. I may slur my words, say the wrong word. I don't care. It is what it is. You're getting it from me, straight from the phone, unedited. If I fall on my arse, face plant, or say something stupid, it's staying in the video, because it is what it is. Because I'm not a professional YouTuber, like I say. It's getting foggy down here. Oh, there we go. So, good job we've got our lights, so anybody that's coming down the road can see where we are. So we don't get run over by a wayward Jeep. But I'm going to finish this video now. It's nearly 20 minutes long. And what I do say is, get out in the woods and experience for yourself the pleasures of the woods. You know, it's early spring now. We're coming up to the end of March, and it'll be April the 1st soon. So there'll be bear out in these woods, probably even now. But again, I haven't seen one. I've only ever seen one. So they're out here though. But again, if you're not putting the time in or the mileage, It's rare that you'll come across these little events that may be so special to you because it's a once in a lifetime, you know, observation, like a bobcat stalking a, you know, a possum or something like that. All right, well, I'm going now, boys and girls. I want to save my battery power. Over and out for now. Get out into the woods and enjoy your hiking. Oh, and if you do come across Bigfoot, don't panic. Face him, back away slowly, or take your backpack off and offer him some apple donuts or a pizza. Something nice and food-like. He might appreciate it. Gifting. Over and out for now.